Hello, everyone. If there's anyone going to join me today, let me just switch cameras here. Let's see how we go. There we go. That's better. Actually, I might take these off for now. There we go. Okay, so I thought I'd do it live today. A couple of people asked me to, so here I am. Whether or not you join me or not, that's up to you. But I thought I would. I hadn't got much going on today, so I thought I'd come on here and see what's cracking, what's crack-a-lacking. Let's see. Let's put that up there, shall we? Hey, Jonathan, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. Hang on, mate. I'm just going to put the link in the chat. There we are. So anyone can join me. Yeah, that'd be great, mate. If you got time. Yeah, love to have a chat. Yeah. So today I'm celebrating 14 years, 2 months, and roughly 7 days since they told me I had just a few weeks to live. Hey, Josephine, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah. So a bit of a celebration, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. So I've got a few things going on, I guess. It is, well, it's getting dark early now. But actually, I was I joined what was it? A live call with Abs early this morning. Actually, we're talking about. It's funny because the other day someone was talking about these. Was it ratatouille? Okay, these new GLP-1 sort of weight loss injections. Okay, ratatouille. Ratatrutide. That's what it is. Ratatrutide. And anyway, she said her boss was getting these injections, from a friend of his, and they'll just they'll go home and shoot up this weight loss drug. It's quite interesting because these drugs, they basically what they do, they inhibit the respiratory system of the mitochondria, and they reduce your ATP production. But at the same time, these drugs, like I said, because they inhibit your ATP production, obviously they're inhibiting the respiratory system of the mitochondria, which means that you're also going to be producing, or they're also going to be reducing their CO2 and EZ water production. And basically what they're doing is killing the cells. And that's how cyanide works. It's exactly how cyanide works. So it's very interesting. I mean, it's amazing how they get approval to market these drugs. Anything that reduces your ATP production or interferes with the respiratory system of your mitochondria is, going to have like adverse effects that is really like downstream is going to do a lot of damage. At first, they said that this new ratatouille one is going to doesn't give you muscle wastage and everything like that, but now they admit that it does, and of course it does, because it's killing your cells. So of course you're not rebuilding those cells, you're not replenishing that tissue, and you're giving your body nothing to rebuild on. These things are absolutely toxic, but yet these people, instead of just making a few lifestyle changes, they want this magic injection that's going to kill them, basically. It's absolutely nuts. Hey, thank you, everyone. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. Cheers. Hey, David, happy birthday. Brad, thanks very much, man. I really appreciate that. Hello, Annabella. Good to see you. I hope you're feeling better. I hope your pain levels are getting less. So I hope you're managing. Josephine, thank you very much. Happy birthday. Facebook. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, the Redditruthide. I know a lot about it. It's absolutely toxic. This shit. I still, like pharma is run by eugenicists basically, and like I said, people are willing to take an injection they know nothing about, if they think that it's going to give them the promised, like weight loss and give them their better body and so on, rather than just making a few simple lifestyle changes that cost them nothing really. It's amazing. How do you be found about? Let me see. Yes, felt like a change. Good. Kelly Hogan's husband is taking a drug like Ozempic. What an idiot. I can't remember the name of it. I think it starts with M. He's combined it with low carb or carnivore. Yeah, seriously. You think someone, like, you think they would know better, Yeah. But we might get Jonathan on here very soon. He knows a lot more about this stuff than I do. But see, any of these, like, we naturally produce GLP-1 anyway. We naturally produce that, especially when you do, intense exercise, like interval training and that sort of stuff, like high intensity interval training. You get like a GLP-1 response naturally in your body. But it lasts less than 2 minutes, like a minute, maybe between 1 and 2 minutes, maybe, depending on your fitness level and things like that as well. So, like, injecting yourself with this kind of stuff is just, honestly, it's a suicide pact, is what it is. It's crazy, and that's why, like, these companies have so many, like, Ozempic has, like, I think it's like $2 billion sort of loose lawsuits going on at the moment, like some massive lawsuits going on at the moment because of the side effects that people are suffering from. And you still suffer these side effects even when you come off these drugs, because it takes a long time for your body to recover from the damage they are doing with these drugs. And then, of course, because they haven't made any lifestyle changes while they were taking these drugs, all that weight that they thought they were losing, or they thought that was making them healthy, and all this other stuff, all the weight they were losing, which they thought made them healthy, all comes back on because they haven't fixed the problem. They haven't fixed their lifestyle, So it's just an absolute waste of money, and they're really just poisoning themselves, honestly. So I've seen 3 real estate agents today. Oh, that's a nightmare. And the lady last one was so rude. They are, every real estate agent I've dealt with in Australia has been a complete asshole. Honestly, they've been a complete and utter asshole. I haven't come across a. I mean, actually, I shouldn't say that. I mean, like some, well, they weren't really real estate agents. They were sort of like apartment. Well, actually, a couple of them have been pretty good. I should clarify. A couple of them had, but 9 out of 10, have been complete assholes. Honestly. Oh, my wee possum is really good, actually. He's cute little guy. He still doesn't use the box I made him, though. He likes to sit on top of the pots. But what can you do? Yeah, it's crazy to do that. Davidson, after being married to Kelly. Oh, yeah, like, honestly, how stupid do you have to be? Seriously, I mean, if you know anything about health, then you would think that you would steer clear of that sort of stuff, Howdy, Beefwoman. I'll just call you JoJo. Fair enough. Where is it? I was on Ozempic briefly. I was low carb and never gained kilos afterwards, but I was diet obsessed back then. Yeah. I mean, most of the people that go on these drugs, though, like they have, like they stick to their standard Western diet, right? So if you stick with the same, if you still have those same poor habits, those same poor lifestyle habits, then when you go off these drugs, obviously all that same weight's going to come back on, but you're not going to be as healthy as you were before anyway, because you're damaging your mitochondria so much. Yeah, like you're literally, like they are literally killing your cells. Like when you stop the respiratory system, or you damage or interfere with the respiratory system of the mitochondria, you're basically killing those cells. All right, so um, it's just, it's crazy. It really is. The first two are nice. Well, that's good. Hmm. Hey Joe, how you going? Hey DC, hi everyone. Hope all a wonderful weekend. Yeah, well, it's Monday here actually. It's Monday. Hmm. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope everyone had a good weekend. It's always good to have a weekend, isn't it? Good to have a day off and do a few things around the place. So catch up on some sunlight. Hmm. So yeah, some crazy stuff going on in this world anyway. But still celebrating. Yes, you do. You lose bone mass as well, because if you are killing those cells, those mitochondria cells, like then you are basically everything that these rebuild, like all your tissue basically is breaking down. So you're going to lose bone tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue, um, organ tissue as well. That's actually some part of the Ozempic lawsuits that are going on now, like some of the organ damage and so on. But so you're going to lose, damage your organs quite a lot, and that would include your brain as well, not just your heart and kidney and liver and so on. So yeah. Not up to be glad I caught you. I'm listening, mate. Cool, Juliet, and good to see you. Yeah, yeah. Because so today it is. I think I said before is 14 years, 2 months, and roughly 7 days since they told me I only had a couple of weeks to live. So I'm kind of celebrating that a bit. Jonathan, how you doing, brother?
Hello. Good, you?
Good, 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 good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, cheers.
Exciting day.
The big 5'3" today.
That's nuts. You look about the same age as me. If you put some next to me, you'd think like you're my brother or something.
Yeah, the camera's good to me.
Yeah. Also the little edits and fine tweaks.
Yeah. So how you been?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. We got back from Joe's yesterday lunchtime. Then went out for Mother's Day meal about 3:00. That'll probably be one of my last like non-carnivore meals for quite a while, I think.
Okay.
We had some nice food. We had a Turkish grill the day before and hot pot the day before that. It's like my favourites, like Japanese sort of style stuff. Watched a film at cinema, and that was about it. So, yeah. About you, what's been going on? You celebrating anything?
No, not really. I mean, it's all much the same old, just the same daily routine basically. But yeah, I had a good workout today, so I'm pretty happy with that. That's a good way to celebrate. Go to the gym,
Just gym. Have you heard of birthday squats?
But yeah. From what was it? Who does that? It was that big guy in America does birthday squats. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I forget his name actually, but yeah, he's quite popular on YouTube.
Yeah, I do them now. I do still do them nowadays. I just tried to find like the matching equivalent on the leg press, I guess.
Oh yeah,
yeah. What are we talking about? GLP-1s or something?
Oh yeah, well, before, like this morning, I was on a live with, or I was on a call with Abs, and we're talking about that new, was it Retatrutide, and yeah, so talking about GLP-1, anything that sort of activates that pathway sort of thing. These drugs that are just There's so many lawsuits out against Ozempic, and now they think that this one's the good one. It's just crazy. People take these
I would,
injections rather than changing their lifestyle a bit.
I'm going to be contentious and say that I think it is a bit of a miracle cure. I'd probably say it's, apart from things like antibiotics and aspirin, I'd probably say it's the best drug we've had to improve en masse health outcomes of anything in 100 years, I think.
Yeah. What made you say that?
I guess the end case outcome data. So people, people take a lot of these drugs to lose weight. So like
Yeah.
the point is lose weight, get rid of diabetes, improve whatever health markers they want to improve.
Does it actually get rid of diabetes though?
Very well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with the retatrutide, it acts on the glucagon pathway. So you get the same flux of hormones that increase when you're exercising. Obviously it's not the same as exercising.
Yeah.
You'll get the same kind of benefit. So if you can get a subtle benefit and it gets someone from, I don't know, being bedbound to going for a walk up and down the road each day sort of thing, that's a positive. I sort of look at the outcomes like long term. Then if we talk about like, obviously people do like calorie tracking and stuff, and we found obviously that doesn't really work for so many reasons that we always discuss. But if you look at that and say 5% of people keep their weight off when they do calorie restricted diet, and they keep it off after a year. If you then look at that from perspective of someone using a GLP-1, it's something like 25 to 45% of them keep their weight off. So it's about 10 times better than the calorie restricted diet because it works on the root cause of the problem because it reduces the appetite. Yeah. We'll discuss all of it. I'm happy to sort of go for it all because I've been listening to you a little bit in the background.
Yeah, I'm sure that like short term you might get some benefit, like especially if you are say 800 or 900 pounds. Like obviously you're not going to be getting up and going for a walk, but but honestly, like any kind of dietary change at that sort of weight when you're obese, you're going to get a big reduction in weight anyway. So I think it's really about, for a lot of people, it's trying to speed up a process rather than just making the lifestyle change and letting your body do it itself. Like I don't see the point of it.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I think the only issues with that is we live in like a very unnatural society.
Exactly.
I can walk to the end of my street and there's like a burger advertisement. We're sort of trained to be addicted to these hyperpalatable foods. Was it Doritos spends like $30 million each year trying to make them more addictive?
Yeah.
So that's our battle as a human race. Our battle is outside media sources of junk food, basically. Now people have, I think it's a very nuanced for people that I have. I think they should be used carefully by people that understand what they're doing. I think the problem is partly the prescribers that prescribe them. They're financially incentivized to prescribe them. They're not trained on how to manage side effects. They're not taught about split dosing, microdosing, use different supplements to counteract the gastroparesis. They're not taught about the correct titration protocol. So when you hear about these studies and they come out and say, "Oh, I did this and I lost my eyesight," well, that's just a lack of vitamin E because they're not eating the right foods. And they've got depleted all their body fat. The vitamin E reserves have just tanked nothing. They're not repairing their eyesight. So I think these drugs are useful, but they should be used like in a scientific method way. Like, you start at this dose, then after so long, when the effects minimize, you then increase the dose. Not.
Well, yeah, I can see like you might want to use them in a combination of lifestyle changes, like to get them moving, perhaps. But again, like these people, like you said, like part of the problem is the prescribers as well. They're not actually. I mean, you're actually keeping their addictions alive. Like you said, like like everyone's addicted to all this, the crap food that we're sort of surrounded by today. And I don't know, like these addictions are very hard to get, to sort of change and get off, and so on. Especially when they don't even see it as an addiction. Most people don't. They don't even realize it's an addiction. But when they just say, okay, like, don't worry, you don't have to change your diet or you don't have to make any lifestyle changes here, just inject yourself with this, you're going to be, it's all good. That's just insane. You know?
Yeah, that's nonsense. That's the people that probably using them but shouldn't be using them. People that just naturally have an inclination to drop excess body weight if they give it any effort at all.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying for sure. Like, yeah, you've got to address the root cause, which is
the root cause of any problem that you have. Otherwise, it's that problem's never going away, and all you're doing is damaging your body even further. You know, so
you made a statement earlier about the mitochondria. It actually upregulates mitochondrial function.
Well, that's not what ABS sees it.
Yeah.
It's not how ABS sees it.
Did you make a video about that? Because I might watch it and see what he says.
Oh, it's on ABS's school videos. Like if you're in that, it's up in the.
I mean, what we'll say is certainly the original GLP-1, so the oral semaglutide, the injectable semaglutide. Tirzepatide is a bit better, but it doesn't quite do enough, I think. I'd say retatrutide is better because it works on 3 pathways. Not any one pathway is overstimulated, so it's not like taking caffeine, to give you energy. Yeah. It's just modulating things a bit more in your favor. So they're peptides; they signal your body to do something. That's kind of how they work. The glucagon activation will increase AMPK, help the whole catecholamine response, help your adrenal function, sports performance. There's if you looked into like retatrutide studies, something like retatrutide exercise, you find hundreds of things in there. You'd be quite shocked. But I will, like I said, the original ones are not great because they just work on one pathway. They're often overstimulating. They get people to have these digestive issues. Yeah, so I do completely agree with that. Tirzepatide's 2 pathways a bit better. People do have better results with that, more sustainable results. They're not sort of like having gastric issues.
Well, I guess time will tell. Like I mean, at the moment, I mean, this is the other thing about this sort of products, right, that come out. People don't realize that when they start taking these drugs, they are basically the guinea pigs. They are the trial. So they have no clue what these side effects are going to be. Until long term. It's the same with the same thing happened with the Ozempic, and now like it took a little while, but now there's all these lawsuits coming out. So I guess time will tell when it comes to this stuff as well. I just think it's a much healthier way to do it. If you just make a few lifestyle changes.
Yeah, I mean, Jo in the chat now, she's perfect anecdote for this in terms of an argument for them. So she was carnivore for 9 years. So when I say carnivore, she's like keto carnivore, high protein. She's done fasting, all these different things. The weight wasn't really budging. So she was trying. She was eating, generally the right foods. Yeah. But it's almost like the every now and then she might have had too much food or eaten the wrong thing. That's her brain telling her, okay, eat this, eat this, eat this. So it cuts out some of the food noise. So imagine. Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't put a number. I don't know the exact scores on it, what the percentage are. But say it cuts down food noise by 30%. Yeah. It means you can reach your goal 30% faster. But you have to find the right dose to get yourself to that 30% faster, but not have the issues where you're getting like gastroparesis and blindness or whatever. When people overdo it, that's the problem because they'll see, oh, weight drop 4 pounds. I've used 2 milligrams.
Yeah, that's the thing too. People always overdo these things as well. Like they say, "Oh wow, I lost 5 kilos, so let's double the dose," sort of thing.
GLP-1 secretion is also, like you said, I think it's activated for different things. Protein satiety mechanism, nutrient sensing mechanisms. But sorry, my brain's still gone dead from my thing. But what am I trying to say? What was I saying before all that? Sorry. Some people, it's just the food noise that's the problem. So it's like they
I get that.
They just can't.
Especially like you said, like in this day and age, like because of like we're just surrounded by food all the time as well. Like even at like 99% of it's not actually food, but what we eat anyway it's everywhere, and it's super addictive. So yeah, I know everyone gets these food signals. I mean, I still get them too. Like but then again, there are other ways to manage this as well, you know. So
Yeah, that was it. So
I just think to err on the side of caution rather than injecting yourself with something you don't know what's going to do to your body long term, you know.
yeah, I mean, I must agree. The stats and the amount of people that use these is absurd. I think it's proportionate to the amount of obese or overweight people there are. But it's like you said, it's like the root cause problem. So if you've not already tried lowering your processed food, going low carb, keto, carnivore, going to the gym, if you've not tried those things, then you just think, oh, sod it, I'm 220 pounds. I want to get to 200 pounds. I'm going to take a GLP-1. I think that is probably a bad way to go about it because it doesn't really get to the root cause of the problem. But in cases where people are like, 300 plus pounds, they've got impaired GLP-1 signaling. So that's been studied. They've actually identified people do have genetic or biological reasons why they might have less GLP-1 secretion. I've kind of looked at that and thought, well, if you can fix that one thing that's wrong with them, so the bit that's causing them to like think, oh, I'm still hungry, but do that for long enough so that they change the microbiome, so their microbiome is no longer glycolysis, it's more gluconeogenesis, what's it called, beta 2 oxidation, so fat burning sort of thing. Once it gets to that state, you then change your microbiome enough that your brain signals are no longer copying what your stomach's doing because you've changed the substrate that's going in. So I think it could be used like you said, like a, say I'm 400 pounds, I want to get to 300 pounds. I'm struggling, I've tried losing weight, done carnivore, this, that, and the other.
Do you think
that
add in that in like when a GLP-1 is inhibited, it's usually going to be in people who are obese and therefore also largely sedentary?
Yeah,
because GLP-1 can also be stimulated by exercise. So that I think is, rather than just the genetic thing, I think it's more of a sedentary thing as well.
It's a multifaceted thing. So like obviously they're not getting the GLUT4 receptor sensitization from the exercise. So for an ever spiral. So what they might need to do is just find a way to drop off like 40 pounds. Then they can start to exercise a bit. But
I mean that's a good point too, because some people just cannot get up and move either. Like some people are stuck in bed because of the weight or because of some health condition. So yeah, I can see your point there, but again, and like I do agree, like the hunger signals and the addiction is another big problem for most people as well. But if you don't make those dietary changes anyway, you're just injecting yourself. You can't do that for the rest of your life,
you absolutely can't just take these retatrutide and be like, oh, I'm going to take that but keep the same diet. Your body will just revert back to what it's doing before. The thing is, what I'm trying to show is there probably is a study in it. I can't say there is, but there probably is one. They'll measure their like appetite scores, hunger, whatever. And I say, I've been using this for a month. After month one, my appetite would drop by 20% or 30% or whatever it happens to be. It's like, okay, that sort of facilitates that. Okay, that reduction in this bad food or this too much food results in 20-pound weight loss. Okay, I'm keep doing it. But for some people that can cause an eating disorder because then they're like, well, if 2 equals this, 4 equals that, 6 equals, so they start chasing the dragon sort of thing. But I think, I've used most of them, like nearly all of them that you can possibly get. Mastitis, cagrilintide, tesofensine is technically a different thing. Retatrutide, megatide, and which is all 4 of the retatrutide and other things put together. Semaglutide and tirzepatide. Semaglutide is probably the worst one. It just basically slows your body down, and you get a one of two way kind of symptomology. So you get a bowel issues basically. I don't really resolve because it's such a strong, potent agonist of the GLP-1 pathway. The other ones aren't so bad. So imagine you've got a chain of, I've described this before, so we're like, imagine you've got a chain like 10 amino acids or 10 peptides, nucleotides, whatever, and say semaglutide is all 10. Okay, then you've got the same 10, but it's tirzepatide, so a different drug. So it might be 5 GLP-1 and 5 GIP. Then retatrutide might be 3, and 4 or something. Like, I don't know the exact numbers, but each peptide will have a certain weight of each inhibiting action of each different molecule peptide attached to it. So the idea is we almost need like tailored ones where, okay, your biggest problem, for example, DC, is I don't know, the amount of exercise you can do. So you want one that stimulates glucagon more, like proportionately.
Yeah.
So that's where I think it will head over time. So it'll be like retatrutide, but it'll be several tiers. So it might have, use A drug for if your appetite's always too high, or B drug if you're always like thinking about sugar and crap, and C if you're someone that's just sedentary. So that's part where the problem lies, is like medication isn't tailored. I go to the because they use a set paradigm of antibiotics, for example. You might need 1 gram of amoxicillin, I might need 2 to get the same job done.
Yeah.
But what they'll do is they'll look at that fine line in the middle where it's like the most people fit in the category. And those outliers, the people that get pointed out in the media to say, oh, you've done this. But we also need to look at it from, I think, from almost like a big pharma, big food kind of standpoint. You create this drug, people do seem to lose weight on it. Okay, great. What does that mean? People lose weight, they're a bit healthier, their health marks improve. Who in the big food or big pharma industry stands to profit from that?
Yeah, no one. Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So that I think there is a forced provision or outlet of resources and information saying GLP-1s are bad. I think that is partly deliberate to stop people using a drug that might help them lose weight, because it's going to cut into big pharma's profits.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, yeah, like I said, I think you're just going to have to wait. Like time will tell. It always does.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's all interesting stuff, though. I mean, it's just something I would not do. It's something I would rather people make your lifestyle changes.
That's the thing. I think people should try it first. So, like when you get into doctor's office, say you're depressed. Oh, I'm not feeling well. If you tried relaxing, meditating, cutting out stress in your life, everyone just says they haven't really done fuck all.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Then here's a drug. Here's fluoxetine, here's sertraline, here's citalopram, metrazapine.
It's hard.
Okay,
like it's really difficult to get people to make any lifestyle changes, dude. Like they always say they do, but it's really difficult. Like I know, like even when I first came back to Australia and I was in the hospital and going through all these treatments and stuff, like people would bitch and moan if the doctor told them to drink water because it didn't have any flavoring and it didn't have any tea or coffee or it didn't have any cordial or anything like that. If they told them to drink water, they would bitch and moan about it. Like, seriously, it's difficult thing to do.
I think I will say, obviously, because I like to be scientific and try and be balanced, I will also have a slight confirmation bias in terms of saying GLP-1s, especially the later ones, are good because Joe obviously uses a GLP-1, but I know a lot of people in the community she's part of use them as well. So you almost build a connection with them. Like, here's a guy in a wheelchair, it's like paraplegic. He now makes YouTube videos. He's got a whole channel about it. He's got, and you look at that and you think, well, this guy was just going to die in like 10 years probably, but now he's not. So I've got that sort of different lens, but
I think if you were paraplegic, would you want to extend your life?
It's hard to say. I mean, it depends how fulfilling your life is. But we're watching the Winter Olympics, and I was like, there's this guy with a guide behind him telling him where to do the curves, like to do the slalom, And the guy's saying, like, oh, left, right, or left 2 meters, or right, whatever it is. I don't know. You're like, well, that takes effort. Someone would have had to be employed to be part of his life to direct him where to go. And he's also got to have like so much insurance or cover to make sure he doesn't like go directly into a pole and like poke his eyeball out. So, I find that quite cool. It depends. Some people have illnesses which you just don't want to have, So.
No, that's right. Exactly. Thank you, Annabella. I just want to say thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that. Jay was saying that I'm in the UK. We do have a quickie pen for Monjaro. The pharmacist doctors here now advising people to only titrate up the doses when the current dose stops working. So we're not taking more.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's funny.
That's the way they should do it, because the way a lot of people use them is by the dosing schedule based on what they did in the studies. It's like, the studies are made deliberately to force people to get certain
Okay.
outcomes, to understand exactly what is being, what happens at what dosages. So they'll have
Yeah.
a load of people at 3 or 4, 5, 6. Yeah, the more you take, the more results you get. But there's like a cutoff somewhere. Depends which peptide it is, but there's a cutoff where you get diminishing returns. So say you take half the drug, you take 10% more. You won't get necessarily 10% more weight loss. You might get 20% more side effects.
Yeah.
That's the annoying thing. So you have to. People aren't patient. You need to sort of work out where you lie.
Yeah. I just got the rest of the message. More than our bodies can handle. Yeah. So also many of us split dosing to manage the level of suppression, so we can get our protein in first. All the GLP-1 channels promote protein first. Yeah. Oh, that's good then. I mean, again,
they're sensible people. They do.
Yeah, there are sensible people
Yeah.
there are sensible people can use these sort of things, but general population wise, it's and the way they're being promoted is something different.
Yeah.
So
There's a big debate about using a split dosage, so like Monday, Thursday versus all on Monday.
yeah,
I've tried every method there is under the sun, DC. So basically, you minimize the side effects of gastric issues from splitting the dose,
yeah,
because you don't have that massive peak. You don't have that, oh, something's in my system, my guts are going to do this sort of thing. But the only thing is, what you find is you have to increase the dose a bit more over time, because the signaling to the different receptors is more, how do you put it? It's more frequent. So it's like taking a load of paracetamol once a month versus taking a bit of paracetamol every single day.
yeah,
The once a month is going to hit you like a ton of bricks and work and like do the job, right? In terms of painkiller. But in terms of like daily modulation of pain, you might start out with like a 2 out of 10 pain score VAS reduction, but over a week you might notice it's like a 1. So it's the same kind of principle. So a
Well, it's
higher
the
dose
same as
won't go
same as anything
more
else
side
that you
effects.
do too, isn't it? It's the same, like even with lifestyle changes, like with ice baths. You don't do like an hour ice bath, once a week. So I think that's just gonna, I
Yeah,
mean, that'll destroy you as well. That's why you like 10 minutes every morning is much healthier. Same with sauna and everything else. So like, yeah, I mean, you got to split these things like lifestyle changes. This is what it's all about. It's about making daily habits that will
yeah,
benefit you long term.
yeah.
Yes,
Like
Dr. Abs Juliet.
yeah, yeah. He's not correct about everything. I'll go publicly and say that I do like him. He's
Oh
not
yeah,
correct about.
good. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting. Actually, maybe we should set up a discussion with you and Ab sometime, because I think it'd be
Yeah.
interesting to hear both sides of the argument.
Yeah. I mean, I've read quite a bit of it. I'll be happy to sort of. I don't want to turn into some sort of like mudslinging thing. Was like, oh, this guy thing,
Oh,
but
no, no.
it'd be good to have a transparent. These are pros, these are cons. This is where each of our opinions lie, sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see anyway. Like I said, again, I'd also be interested to see what the long-term effects are going to look like as well. I don't,
Still quite
I'm
early
very
days.
wary, very wary when it comes to injecting yourself with anything, especially these days, So
I actually researched GLP-1 DC when I was 14 years old, so about half a lifetime ago for me.
yeah.
Yeah, so I had to do a paper on them, and they're sort of touting them as like the next best thing. And we actually produced like a chart. This was when they were first being made, sort of thing. So I produced a chart with like the pros and cons of each. So like ephedrine, you might have a heart attack, but it's quite good for appetite suppressant. You can do more exercise, stuff like that. Then there was things like the fat alley, like the orlistat, like the stuff that blocks your fat from being absorbed from your diet. Side effects, runny guts, nutrient deficiencies. Okay, that one's out the question, sort of thing. DMP, people get burnt to death from the inside using that one. It's like a form of dynamite. Maybe that's out the question for like the average user population in Mexico, for example. Then GLP-1s came up, but they had the most ticks across them. So like when I sort of went through it, they sort of ticked the most boxes and didn't tick the least, sort of thing. So it's probably I mean, if we're going to get people to lose weight, what have we done so far, and has it worked? No, not really. People are still fatter, more diabetes, more cancer. It's not, something's not working. So there has to be a drug or a current drug out there now which helps resolve that problem. But I say that, but sparingly, because it will only take you so far versus using the diet and exercise side of it. So it's sort of the idea. My viewpoint is like try and get people from where they are now to about towards the middle. Then it'll encourage them to sort of have momentum to sort of do the rest themselves.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because I mean, like I've always said that, you know, I've always promoted people getting off medications and staying away from drugs, but there's always people that need a bridge. You know, you can't just suddenly stop taking medications. You can't just suddenly. I mean, some people are stuck in bed, or they're stuck. You know, they just don't have the ability to get out and do some exercise, or to make some of these other lifestyle changes. Like, it'd be very difficult if you're like 500 or 600 pounds to get into an ice bath, right? For example.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's always people that are going to need a bridge, right? But long term, the idea is to use these as a temporary measure and then while you are using these, you want to implement those lifestyle changes so that long term you can get off those drugs or these injections and continue with the healthy lifestyle. You know, I think that's the biggest concern for me is why would you I mean, like I said before, you can't just expect to take these injections for the rest of your life. You know?
I think Jo plans on doing that herself.
Well, she must be, because I mean, if she was already carnivore for 9 years anyway, obviously she's putting effort into changing her diet at least. So I mean, yeah, if you need that bridge, you need that bridge.
If you looked in her house, honestly, because I obviously saw her pantry and what food she's got in, I'd say it's as clean as my pantry.
Yeah.
You know, so she's putting in the work sort of thing, and because she doesn't go out of the house much because she can't walk very far. So we went out of the house is probably the most she left and did stuff outside the house in years, probably. Yeah. We're both a bit out of breath from just walking to different places, but we managed it. But yeah, I can easily see how someone in that sort of position would be struggling to lose weight, and you know, if you can get to the point where okay, she's then, I don't know, a year or two down the line, or she might be doing some exercise outside or something in the garden, or buy a rebounder. Okay, you know, that sort of that helps bridge that gap as well. From
that's right. I mean, that's something that's something I think people should be careful of too. Is like a rebounder, for example, when you're obese and you're bouncing on a rebounder, that's a lot of weight to put on your joints. You know. So again, like I think there are more mild methods that you can start with as well. I mean, sure, build up to that, but you know, not everyone can do that. You know, so like I said, there's always going to be people out there that need that bridge to bridge the gap. You know, so I'm always open to that. Like, but again, it's not a long-term sort of thing unless you put the work in to change those lifestyle habits, you know, and then that way you can sort of get yourself off it, because there's no point not making any lifestyle changes if you're just going to keep injecting yourself. And then when you come off it, or the problem is still there, you know. So, but I agree. Like there's like Joe's obviously had a problem. She 351 pounds and had been carnivore for 9 years. That's a problem. Chronic health issues that wasn't being treated. Yeah. And I've had chronic inflammation since 2014. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, there are lifestyle habits that will help with that sort of thing. For example, cold therapy, especially with inflammation, would really help.
That's an easy one, yeah. You don't have to do anything, you know.
That's right. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to get into an ice bath. You can have a cold shower, right? For example. And I think that's one of the big ones, actually, because it really does help, you know, stimulate a lot of processes in the body. Breathwork is another one that anyone can do. You can do that from your bed. You know, you don't have to move anywhere. You don't have to get up and exercise. You can do that from bed. So those are two things that can really help. And I'm not saying it's going to like be a big quick fix sort of thing, but it will help. And I mean, that doesn't mean that you won't need that bridge still. If you need that bridge, then, you know, use it. But at the same time, implement those changes so that eventually you can get off that bridge, you know? You don't want to be on that bridge for the rest of your life.
Running, yeah.
You know. So
Yeah.
that's the key point there is that you don't want to be on that bridge for the rest of your life. And I know I completely understand what it's like to be stuck in bed or to be. I mean, I was pretty big after all my
14
treatments
years
and
ago,
everything as
whatever,
well. So, I was stuck in bed for nearly 8 years total. So I know what it's like. It's hard. If you can't move, like I couldn't get off. I couldn't even move 2 steps to get to the toilet by myself. So, I understand what you're going through. But again, like I said, I think you should only use these things as a short-term bridge. There are things
the problem with I mean, part of the problem with drug creation is obviously they've got to pass clinical trials, but they also have to create a drug that people can use.
That's another thing, though, too, is a lot of these drugs do not pass clinical trials. Vaccines, for example, like no vaccines go through any trial. They haven't done since the 80s.
Yeah.
So that's I mean, we are the trial. When they release these drugs out in the public, we are the guinea pigs.
Yeah. These trials are not. They're designed to help people. Well, they're designed to create drugs which people can access and use regularly and not forget the dose.
Yeah.
It's like that's why they're once a week dosing. Or every Sunday night I take my GLP-1 and by the next morning I feel a bit. Don't have as much appetite. But the problem is with all these drugs is you get these massive peak. But they always have a taper because as they lose part of their, maybe it might be an ester attachment or their peptide attachment, like arrangement, they've got to like cleave off certain bits of it. So as it goes through the system, it sort of titrates down. But the problem is some people now might be using a GLP-1. They're getting the high spike at the start of the week. It goes towards Sunday or Saturday next week, and then are done for because it's like, oh, do you want to go out and have a drink? And it's like, well, the appetite suppressant effects have dropped a bit. They're they're less modulated, therefore they just rebound. So I've seen or heard of some people with this sort of weight issues where they're sort of gone up 5 pounds by Saturday or Sunday, and they're down 5 pounds by like Thursday. It's like, where do you really go from here? So the drugs themselves need to be designed so people can select, okay, I'm happy using it daily, so here's a tablet or whatever,
Yeah, that's right. The impact that the GLP-1 Manjaro is having on my inflammation is incredible, and I'm no longer pre-diabetic. My HbA1c is 44 millimole, while I was eating more than 20 carbs a day. That's a great result, and that's a great result. I'm pretty sure a lot of that would come down to your carnivore diet as well.
What she's saying is so until maybe a year, until maybe she's been using it for about a year. So before that point, her levels wouldn't shift. So she's saying this new shift is because of the GLP-1, not because.
All right.
I mean, like, it's not a scientific experiment. I don't know exactly what she's eating. I don't know if she's eating 10% more at that time or what. I don't know, but it seems to be this intervention has changed something.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's a good thing. I mean, like, there's always things that can stimulate. We always go through these plateaus as well. It's like we get to a certain point, and our body hits a plateau, and we get stuck there. Sometimes we might be stuck there for a good year. Depends on what you're eating and what you're doing, what your lifestyle is. Which is another reason why I try to encourage people to try other lifestyle interventions like ice bath and breathwork and grounding and all these other things, because especially I think like two of the fastest and more effective ones, like the breathwork and ice baths, can really shift your body in a positive way very quickly, actually. But like, if you're getting a good result, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But again, it's good to have that stimulus, but just recognize the fact that you're on a bridge at the moment, and you don't want that bridge to be a permanent thing.
Some of the comments in the chat are quite funny from Juliet.
Carnivore has always been my preferred way of eating, but the GLP-1 has helped me alongside it. Well, that's good. That's really good. Oh, you have to go, Annabella. Okay. I thank you very much. I really appreciate you. Thanks for
Take
joining us
care.
tonight. Have a great night. And yeah, I hope you're feeling better, Annabella. Actually, hello, Juliet. John, how you doing, man? Good to see you, brother. I coach GLP-1 clients. I get beat up by carnivore community for doing so. However, reality is 1 of 8 Americans are on them. Wow, that's
Mm.
again, that's
It's a
too
lot.
much.
Yeah.
You know, that's way too much. I mean, this is like ADHD as well. It's one of those overdiagnosed kind of conditions as well. You know, like because there is incentives for doctors to keep passing out these damn drugs, right? So that's I mean that's just crazy, really serious. 1 in 8.
It's a lot of people. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, they do have a
However,
lot of different uses for different. I mean, for addiction, for example, I've heard of people being addicted to alcohol, then they're like not,
yeah.
like lifelong addicts that are in and out of rehab all the time. So
Yeah, I can see that. I mean,
yeah,
if it's, I mean, because I mean, addiction comes from the same place. Whether you're addicted to food or alcohol or gambling or anything like it, all pretty much comes from
mm,
the same place. And if that's you know, inhibiting that hunger signal or that addiction signal in your brain, then obviously that's going to help
yeah,
with everything else, isn't it? So I can see your point
totally.
there. Mm.
Yeah, it's a
Probably
use
yelling
case
at me
thing
now.
by the sounds of it. You know, it's individual use case. Know what you're doing. Have a proper prescriber. Read up on it. Doing research. But you, like you said, the problem is the research nowadays. A lot of it is
Yeah,
going onto Reddit forum online or Facebook group. It's not. It's
no,
not
that's right.
hard. Like you can read some of the comments in there about like diet and stuff. And you're like, this person is an admin of this group telling these people to do this thing. They're
Yeah,
influencing thousands of people to do the wrong thing.
yeah, exactly.
Why?
Yeah.
So
Especially in our space, there is no real hard science. Like when it comes to this sort of stuff, and there's no non-bias either. You know, and
mm,
I mean, people do science. That's the problem too. You know,
mm,
so like I said, I mean, the best thing, I think the best thing we can do is just wait and see see what the long-term thing is effects
yeah,
are. So yeah, I
yeah.
agree
I'd
with
like
you, Juliet. There's no
yeah,
point. There's no point yelling at these people. And like I said, like we all need a bridge from time to time. And like I was on a lot of medications for a long time as well. You know that
mm,
a lot of people should not be on. But you have like I need at that time I needed that bridge as well. But the idea is you want to shorten that bridge as long as you like as quickly as possible so you get off that bridge. So
yeah. I think there's one sort of Bart K kind of line which is probably quite appropriate here. He sort of says, you know, nature doesn't make mistakes. You know, so it's like, okay, nature is we eat a proper human diet, we go out in the sun, we go for a swim, do a bit of light activity, catch some animals, whatever we happen to do. Anything else is a deterrent of that, is a
yeah,
impairment of that fact. So I
yeah,
think that's where the problem lies. It's like nothing is ever as good as doing what you would be doing naturally, because it can't be, because you wouldn't
no,
have been here if there was loads of mistakes along the way.
no,
So
that's right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, none of what we do now is pretty much what our natural lifestyle. But
mm,
it's I mean, we try to mimic them as best we can. Um,
yeah,
but that's about it. That's about all you can do, really. I agree. If
absolutely.
you've not already tried, try the lifestyle changes first. But for those of us who were ardent champions of the lifestyle changes, but our health was quickly failing, we'll try anything. Yeah, yeah, that's right. And yeah, I did too. Because yeah, I was literally like weeks from death, and you at that stage like you try anything, even because even after the clinical trial or the clinical trial and then the stem cell transplant, I was toast. Like I was completely cooked, and I could barely move. I couldn't even hold a cup. My wife was spoon feeding me basically.
Yeah,
And I mean, they basically sent me home to die. That was it. At that stage you try anything. And I did. I tried anything and everything. I tried anything that I could tolerate at that time. And that's what everyone goes through, that process. You go through a process of what can I do now? And that sort of grows later on. And that's all you can do, you know.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong. I'm not sort of coming down on anyone that takes these. I just think that you should be wary of these kind of interventions. They should be monitored. You should monitor these interventions. But again, anything that you use as a bridge to get to a healthier lifestyle is going to be good. But you want to shorten that bridge as quickly as you can. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I only use them not really for their intended use. I use it for glial modulation of the brain, so
Yeah.
help with like pain receptors, things like that. So the dose I use versus what someone else uses is trivial, really. It's not a massive dose, but I've found some benefits, but I have found there are certainly side effects which probably not in the packaging very clearly, sort of thing.
Yeah.
The main one is the gastric stuff is the main issue, really. It's that kind of thing. The other one is potential dehydration as well. Just to be complete, some people listening to this, they sort of, there's a lot to it, because if you can't eat anything because you've got an appetite, you probably can't drink anything either. So if you're lying in bed, in the middle of Mexico in a desert, in a hotel somewhere, you're taking a GLP-1 or something, you can't drink or eat, you're going to get dehydrated. So
yeah, that's right. Well, that's the thing too, isn't it? If you're using an appetite suppressant, which means you're not going to take anything in, which means you may end up not eating enough for a start, and certainly not drinking enough. So then, like you said, if it causes things like diarrhea and things like that as well, maybe it's also like you got because it's the same with when you activate your autonomic nervous system into the sympathetic nervous state. You get conditions like leaky gut or gut paralysis and digestive paralysis, and basically food just goes straight through you, right? Which means that you're not absorbing those nutrients for a start. And if you're taking a drug that is doing that for you, is keeping you in that sort of that nervous state, or in that or doing that to your digestive tract and so on, then that's something that's going to be a problem as well. Obviously, you're going to lose weight because you're not actually absorbing anything. You're not keeping anything in, right? So that could be a problem as well. But again, like minor doses, like you're saying, you can probably manage that.
Yeah, and I mean, I found the dose. I didn't read the pamphlet sort of thing and just take it. I read online, looked at the forums, what kind of people are like me that might use it for this kind of thing. I found that, and I thought, well, let's not start there, because they might have ended up there and reported that's what they're taking. Let's try half, give it a week, give it another week. Okay, increase it a bit. I'm fine. So,
yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, if it helps with other things, like you're saying, like it might help with the pain, then that's a good thing, isn't it? And for the digestion, I mean, there might be other things that might help as well, to help you relax, to get into that vagal state, like breath work will maybe help you bringing that back into line. Maybe even the ice bath might work as well, or grounding and so on as well. So I tried to work with them to keep on very low dose and not to trade up, and at the same time focus on straight training, protein, proper nutrition, so that after 6 months they could work to get off. That's the way to do it. That's the way to coach people when you're doing that. If anyone is on any kind of medication like that, the hope is that you can, like I said, just shorten that bridge so they can get off that, and eventually have a good, healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, Juliet's a good coach. I think I consulted with her a while ago because I was telling her about programming and like training programming. She seems well equipped, and a lot of her videos are actually quite. The array of topics she actually covers in her videos is actually pretty good. So I do recommend people subscribe to her. So
yeah, definitely. I think Yeah, if you don't know Juliet, you should go check out her channel.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, for me, the GLP-1 worked alongside the CPAP machine. Okay. The steroids inhaler that now allows me to move. Yeah. I mean, again, like, yeah, these are all things that obviously you're using as a bridge at the moment, and eventually you would like to hope that you could get off all of those things. Obviously, your CPAP machine, you're not breathing properly, you're not, but you're taking steroids inhaler for probably for asthma or just a restrictive breathing, I would say.
Yeah.
So again, that's something you could probably work towards getting off as well. There's a lot of great breathing techniques out there that can really help with that sort of stuff. Actually, box breathing, the video I just put up the other, I think last week ago or so, that's a good technique that will help with that.
Yeah.
And I mean, while you're using the CPAP, maybe try to be conscious of the fact that you're not mouth breathing. Okay, try to make sure that you're only breathing through your nose while you're sleeping, and if not, then at least try to make sure you're only breathing through your nose while you're awake, all your waking hours at least. Okay. And
I
slower
just realized.
breathing.
Yeah, I chew loads of gum, DC, so I think I naturally nose breathe.
Well, that's good. Any trick that works, like.
Yeah.
The other thing is it's not just about. I mean, there are 30 different reasons why the body needs you to breathe through the nose, right? Probably some of the more important ones is the fact that when you breathe through the nose, you are producing nitric oxide for one, which is a great antioxidant, but you're also cooling the brain, which is why you breathe through the nose. And you also stimulate cerebral spinal fluid. Okay. So there's a number of, I mean, there's another 27 reasons, but there are 0 reasons to breathe through your mouth. 0. Okay. So that's the difference. So it's something that you should really, everyone should really work on, and try to breathe as slowly as possible. It's not about deep breathing. It's about slow breathing. So most people should be breathing, especially at rest, about 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Okay. If you are exercising, you might speed that up, but try to, and that doesn't have to be exercise per se. It could be anything that is, if you are exerting yourself in any way, try to breathe through your nose as much as possible and as slow as possible. Even if you are doing intense exercise and if you're running, for example, try to breathe as slowly as possible, because that will keep your heart rate down. And the lower your heart rate during exercise, the more intense you can push yourself. Okay.
So it means your body's clearing lactate efficiently, and it's got the right equilibrium of elements and things.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Because it's not a matter of taking in oxygen. It's a matter of getting that oxygen into the cells. And to get the oxygen into the cells, you need CO2. And if you are blowing off, if you're breathing too much and you're breathing through your mouth, you're blowing off too much CO2. And it doesn't matter how much air is in your blood, it's not going to get delivered to the cells anyway. So that's the difference. So you'll be much better, or be able to do a lot more physical activity if you breathe properly. Julia, I finished the music video the other day, inspired by you on the subject. I think it will be out in 2 weeks. Okay, good news, John. Very good, wonderful.
There's a comment come up from John. I'll answer later.
John, I appreciate that. I agree with you, Juliet. Many of us on the GLP-1 are paying for it privately. Yeah. We are actively looking to, for a way to change our eating habits now. The food noise is controlled. Yeah, that. I mean, that obviously has a big effect, I mean, that hunger, or that signal, that addiction signal especially, is the biggest reason why anyone fails any diet. So I think you could be right. Thank you, Joe. I really appreciate that. I really do. Howdy, John. I love hanging out with fellow science nerds. Yeah, that's good. Let me see. Thank you, Joe. Been avoiding. It's predicted 1 in 6 Americans will be on GLP-1. I agree this is not good because it will be misused, but I find it important to help educate women who are on them and best help them through nutrition. Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, any drug that this is the thing. This is why the supplements industry is so big, because they have all these big promises about get fit, get lose weight, and have the perfect body and all this sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone wants the quickest, easiest, fastest way to get there, and that's what I mean. So it's always going to be abused, right? It's the same as steroids in the bodybuilding. It's the same with anything else or any professional sport. Actually, they will all do that. They will all do the same thing, and especially when it comes to athletes, because they do not care how they get there as long as they get there. I'm no better. Like, I was exactly the same way, and that's and you all know where I ended up. So that's just the way it goes. That's my biggest concern is now is I think I think people need to have realistic expectations as well. Nothing is going to change in 1 week, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, when I work with clients, I say 8 to 9 times out of 10 have to readjust their goals. Not because I don't think I can't coach them towards their goal, but it's the time frame that doesn't compute. It's like, I want to lose 30 pounds in the next 3 weeks. It's like 10 pounds a week probably isn't going to happen because it's more than 1% of your body weight. And scientific studies have shown about 1% of your body weight is about as much as you want to lose any week. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, it's life. I mean, it's just life is. There's always going to be fluctuations as well, and our weight will fluctuate between seasons. For example, people don't understand that, and they get frustrated until when it comes to winter, for example, they start packing on a bit of weight, and then all of a sudden they're getting desperate they'll try anything, sort of thing. What's the next big thing that's going to cut the fat and build more muscle? Yeah, it's just. I think it all comes down to education though as well. It's just
there's no real magic bullets, really.
No.
Every intervention you want to improve your physical appearance, even liposuction, that has side effects. Everything has a side effect.
Everything has side effects. Yeah, when you have any kind of intervention, it's going to have side effects. But I think that trying to bring people down into those realistic sort of expectations and realize that, I think the biggest thing is because of everyone thinks that if you are lean and muscly, then you're healthy.
Not true.
And it's not true. And I mean, you would see that all the time, especially like in bodybuilding. There's 9 out of 10 of them are not very healthy people.
They also don't know how to track their blood work anyway. They're looking at the wrong things, the wrong ranges.
Yeah, most of them don't care as long as they look good in the mirror.
Yeah, that's completely true. Yeah. Whenever I'm trying to work out what I'm going to do, it's like, what's the healthiest way for me to get the job done?
Yeah.
I want to get the job done. That's the priority, really. Otherwise, why would I do it? But there must be a best way to do it. That's my modus operandi, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. Me too. Now, it's. I mean, unfortunately, it took a long way to sort of get there, but it. I think whenever I try to make any kind of change, I'm always trying to have a new goal or a target. It's always, okay, what's the healthiest way for me to get there, without going crazy about it, and it's kind of difficult because I was always into, trying to be as I don't know, I just had that mindset to always try and get better at every sport that I did throughout my life. So it's kind of difficult not to say, okay, well, you fall back into those habits of, oh, what about this pre-workout drink, or what about these drugs, or what about this? And it's like, no, it's just don't do it.
Yeah, I don't mean.
Uncertain people are around it. Mirrors back to them, and they're deficient, and people will reject that. Yeah. My favorite movie that was Never Ending. My new favorite movie about is Never Ending Story. At the end, he's got to face himself in the mirror. Oh, okay.
It's a bit like is it Dorian Gray? Have you ever seen that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty weird one. But
yeah. It's pretty weird, but yeah, it's kind of a pretty cool story though. I mean, like if he looked at his own painting, and like it brought on all those years, all those aging years, and so on. So, but yeah, looking in the mirror, isn't it?
Yeah.
Twilight Zone. I used to like watching the Twilight Zone. There's a couple of back in the 60s and 70s, there were kind of all these kind of cool shows like that, Twilight Zone, and
I've watched all of them actually.
Yeah,
Twilight Zone. Yeah,
some of the old black and white ones were really cool. I forget the name of the other one. Actually, I used to watch it quite a bit. Actually, it was
Outer Limits, cool. Maybe.
Outer Limits was pretty good. But there's another one. I forget what it's called. I can't think of it. But some of them were really cool. And actually, a lot of them, like there was a Twilight Zone episode. I think it's early '80s when they tried to revamp it, and it's pretty much what they want. You can see it's exactly what they wanted us to live like. It's like everyone was living in a 15-minute city, in this episode. I think this was like 1984. Everyone's living in this 15-minute city, and children, when they reach a certain age, like a teenage, they all go and get tested. Like they get an IQ test. If they're too smart, they kill them, and they get shipped back to their parents as ashes. It's exactly what they want.
Yeah.
Jonathan, my pantry is cleaner than your pantry. There's not a single
cleaner. Maybe tidier. No.
In my cupboard.
Yeah, a pantry is literally just like a cat's food, a bit of like lemon pepper seasoning, I think, a few herbs and spices, and that's it. Like it's sort of when.
I like that, DC. I like that, DC. I help people across that bridge. Yeah, exactly. That's what a coach should be doing. There should be helping people across that bridge. So several women also have come to me via gym, highly disappointed with how they look after a year of GLP-1. They started with no education and doctors. Yeah. See, this is a thing too. A lady, someone mentioned this the other day in the chat for my live the other day. With this Redditry her boss was going home, and a friend was bringing these injections around. They were just shooting it up together. So again, like these things get abused very quickly. Bring them up to high levels quickly. It's like my single cigarettes. If
that's like me with my vape pen sort of thing, or chewing gum. It's,
yeah.
I think using it's more helpful to me than not using it or taking it. So probably not ideal, but what's the alternative? Go crazy. So.
Yeah, it's you gotta have something to do. I actually use chewing gum a lot actually through treatment because it actually numbed my mouth because the chemotherapy used to give me a lot of ulcers in my mouth. Like my whole mouth was swollen.
Ripped open. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was swollen from the ulcers. I couldn't even close my mouth because of the how swollen my tongue and my lips and everything, my gums, everything.
Yeah.
So chewing gum actually numbed the pain. So it's not something I recommend, but again, if it works, you know. So
Same with the the strength athletes. They'll have like a mouth guard in, and when they're training, they'll chew onto it because it gives you more strength. Because it causes the three muscles of main major muscles of the neck to clench up and activate. And if you think you're going to be stronger with your head up here like that, you're going to be stronger like tucked in like that. You know, so same sort of principle.
Yeah. Editing. And Dr. Abs is in. I don't hear what he says. He's too cute.
He looks the same way in real life when I've met him. Yeah.
Yeah. How old is Abs? Do you know?
I don't know, but he looks a couple of years younger. He looks about 27.
Yeah, I mean, he looks pretty young.
Might have to look online.
But I mean, he said he's retired from dentistry, and then so
yeah, he's probably like 45, but looks like 27.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because he's really big into the cosmetic sort of looking young sort of stuff, you know.
He's right in that line between looking good and really healthy versus looking like almost too healthy. You know, when someone looks like an AI image.
They look like a plastic doll. Yeah. Like they look like a Ken doll, you know. Yeah. He's Caden. Okay, software. I'm loving your breathing videos. Oh, good, Joe. I really appreciate that. I'm glad they help you. I will be putting up some more breathing videos. So sort of takes me a bit of time to sort of get to do these things in my spare time because I don't make anything on YouTube at all. So I have to do other things. So yeah, but I will be putting up some more slow breathing techniques as well soon that will help. But I think that one of the easiest ways to get down to one breath, or to the recent one that I put up, the box breathing, it goes up in increments of from 4 seconds square to up to 15 to get you down to one breath per minute. I think that's one of the easiest ways to get down to one breath for most people. And while you're doing this, you're also building CO2 tolerance because you are learning to control your breath. You are learning to control like the inhale, the holds, and the exhales. So I think this is a really good technique for most people to learn how to breathe properly, you know.
I found out about Dr. Abs, by the way.
Thank you, Joe. Really appreciate that.
So Dr. Abs' real name is Dr. Abhishek Setapalli.
Yeah.
There's no way to know how old he is, but he's estimated late 30s to early 40s.
Okay. Well, there you go.
For what it's worth. So
yeah. Well, that's good to know.
yeah.
Thanks for joining, Joe. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I told her you were live, and I saw you set a live stream for, I think, tonight at midnight, or like later in the day sort of thing, but it'd be a different day for you probably. I was like, oh, then that came up, and I was like, I only saw it by chance, like that one split second.
Yeah, I just decided to do it when I got back from the gym this afternoon. So I thought, oh, okay, I might as well do it live. So yeah. So I got to do something. Everyone else around me forgot it was my birthday completely. So I just thought, well, yeah, I'll do something to celebrate 14 years.
You didn't tell me because you're not on it, so I was damned anyway.
Yeah, well, I got kicked off Facebook, so
that's right. Yeah,
buggers. Yeah. But oh well, what do you do? My biggest fear, I guess, fear about GLP-1 is that the body produces GLP-1. Yeah, and like anything, the body becomes resistant over time. Exactly. The most external inputs, I sure would hate to lose my GLP-1 natural production. Yeah, exactly. That's like I said, this is the reason why these bridges need to be as short as possible. It's the same when you get like especially like men later in years, and they go on testosterone or hormone replacement therapy, right? if you are injecting yourself with testosterone or any kind of hormone, it sends a signal to your body to stop producing that because you no longer need that. Right? It doesn't address the root cause. Why is their testosterone levels low? Why is whatever their problem is? And that's the problem. They're just trying to, don't worry about fixing the cause. Just inject this and you're right. But it doesn't really help them. I haven't heard of anyone benefiting really from hormone replacement therapy. Not getting the results they should get anyway.
Obviously, I work with people who use different substances and things, and I know people that were prescribed these sort of things as well. They feel better for using it. I've got one lady, she started using testosterone replacement therapy. You can actually see, like,
actually, I think it works better in females. Yeah,
females, it does seem to work a bit better. There's less the conversion to other hormones is a bit more precise. With men, there's a lot that can go wrong. For example, the DHEA production, DHT, pregnenolone, has more interaction with dopamine, serotonin, things like that. So, I think women will have generally a more predictable outcome than men, probably.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I mean, I had said, like, I had seen improvements. Obviously, there's going to be some improvements, like while they're actually using it, but there's always a limit. Like, there's always a limit there, and you can't keep injecting you can't just keep adding more and more and more to it. So when it comes to, and it certainly is still not going to test high in testosterone anyway. So I think it just address the underlying cause and the lifestyle, and that's going to be your biggest problem.
So, they prescribe it like sweets, like candy.
Yeah, they do. They hand it out like candy.
In America, they do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Hey, Lainey, how you doing? Good to see you. If you're welcome to join, actually, Lainey.
I'm going to hop off in about 10 minutes, Lainey. If you did want to come on, you better get your skates on.
Here is the link. Anyone's welcome to join. More than welcome. So where are we at? Yes, morning, DC. George just rang me to tell me you were both on. Oh, good on you, George.
Well done.
Yeah. How you doing? I got to spend 3 days with Jonathan. Good man. Good on you, Joe. So I'm feeling blessed. Yeah, be very good. I mean, this is another thing. Like, I don't see why Jonathan doesn't have a lot more subscribers as well, because he's one of the best nutritionists out there in the world. Like, he's not. I'm not just blowing smoke up his ass, but there's Jonathan. There's Richard Smith.
Bart.
Richard Smith. Bart.
Pim's a nutritionist.
Pim's a nutritionist as well. So those four. I mean, the like the top of their field around the world, really. So if you don't know Jonathan, get on, and I'm sure you will do. But check out his channel. Great stuff.
I'm gonna make more content soon. The way I'm gonna do it, DC, is just use StreamYard, record the video, post it. Because I've realized getting the information out there is more important than trying to get the edits right, just to get something out. Because I can't sit at this desk for the amount of time I used to just edit videos. I can talk quite freely nowadays about things. Like I sort of know what topics I can sort of address. I'm going to address things like autism, body composition stuff, be a little bit around training as well. But, it seems like the autism community does seem to quite like my videos, just because there's nothing else out there. Is like a captive audience. There's no one really talking about carnivore and autism, so I think I might be a good candidate to do that, I guess.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Just checking out some of these things. Can't think of that show.
I'm after AI it. What's that show with that thing in it that does that thing in the 80s?
and white. Thinking. Yeah, I'll try and think of that show. But have you seen the film Gattaca? Yes, have seen that. That's one where people's opportunities are removed based on their genetics and possible health outcomes. Yes, and yeah, the ones that were lucky, at a certain age, to get to go on this spaceship out into space somewhere. But yeah, I mean, it's all about control, and they keep telling us that, but people don't listen, do they? Joe Tales of the Unexpected used to scare me people when I was young. Me too. Thank you very much, Juliet. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. I wish I could celebrate with you. I'd buy you a pint of bone broth or something.
What's that?
Wish I could celebrate with you. I'd give you a pint of bone broth or something.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of that's the show. One Step Beyond. One Step Beyond. That was a good show, actually. Yeah. You guys should check out One Step Beyond. Right? It's pretty cool. Yeah, Beyond.
Haven't heard from Harry in a while. What's going on?
Harry? Yeah,
What's
I don't know. I haven't seen from.
Admittedly, I've not messaged him to ask, so it's my own fault. But yeah, I probably should ask him now.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe. I really appreciate the birthday wish, and Lainey, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Still in bed. Had a bad night. Okay, fair enough. Hey, David Prime Reader Thomas, how you doing? Ian.
Hey Thomas, you're up early, I think. Yeah.
Juliet told George that I was on. Good on you, Juliet. Thank you.
So Juliet told George, who told Lainey, and I found out through YouTube and told Joe. So we're all referrals.
Oh, very good. Very good. Good referral system going on.
That's good though. When people know each other, they're like, oh, you need to go on things live stream. That's a good sign.
Yeah. So what do you got on today, mate? You going to the gym?
Unfortunately, not. Missing a gym day today. So I've got my EEG brain head scan and heart scan. I believe one's an EEG and one is an MRI.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully they're quick, so I don't punch anyone.
Yeah,
they're not fun. I don't like them very much.
I hate that. Yeah. I never had a problem. I never had a problem with at first with all the MRIs and stuff like that, but eventually I started getting really claustrophobic. They kept putting me into these damn tunnels and these damn machines, and eventually I just it was really unnerving. Kind of felt like they were putting me in a coffin.
You do feel a bit that way, because the reality is you're scanning something that they can't work out what it is from the outside of your body. There's probably usually or can be quite a sinister thing. I mean, I had one scan maybe October, November time. That's my back, and they didn't realize for some reason, but because I've got metalwork in my back, when you take the scan, you have to use a different MRI technique. Otherwise, you just get glare. So when you look at the scan, it's just like fragmented lights sort of thing. And so I had to go in twice within the same day, and the scan was about 45 minutes to an hour each time.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
I'm not good at lying still.
No, I hate that. I really do. I hated the routine of hospitals all the time too. There were some days I had to go to 3 different hospitals, and in one day. I had a 6 o'clock appointment, then I had a 10 o'clock, and I had a 2 o'clock in these different hospitals for all these different reasons. Have an ECG done, all sorts of things done. They had to do, especially before I went into the transplant, they had to check that my heart was going to be strong enough for it, and all the rest of it. I had to get all kinds of other tests done. That's crazy. They just love to put you through these tests,
They're not even cheap. Like each time you run an MRI, it's not like £1. It's like hundreds, if not 1,000.
Yeah.
I think. Well, I read once an MRI is about Here it's about £1,300 or something. So every time they stick you in that tube, I think people are in there all day, all day, all day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this again, it's like they love to overprescribe this stuff because they charge the NHS a buttload of money, right? Or they charge Medicare here a buttload of money, and that's what it's all about. I know when I first got over here, when I was first like before I was even diagnosed, the GP I saw because I was only supposed to be here for a 2-week vacation, but the GP I went to see because I was sick, he wanted me to get an X-ray and ultrasound, and that cost me $1,000, and like that was all the money I had on me because of my holiday, and that was it.
Yeah.
So because I didn't have a Medicare or anything, because I wasn't living in Australia at the time, so I had to pay for it. So even just like an X-ray and like an ultrasound, $1,000, and like all these other big machines that they run, like they charge thousands of dollars each time. It's crazy.
I think wearable and healthcare tracking stuff will be the next best investment. I think because people nowadays are like, okay, we've got the drugs, we've got the food, all the information to get the job done, but they want to know that they're getting it done. So they need some way to objectively track. Here's my HRV, here's my brain scan, here's my heart health, here's my plaque in my arteries. So I think that's going to be the way a lot of things are going to go. And if I had more cash on me, I'd certainly be investing that way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, probably I would think like investing in like any kind of health like industry or hospitals or anything like that, it's always been a big money maker, always. Ever since pharmaceuticals started. So
yeah.
Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate that. I really do. I agree. DC and Jonathan, you're the best in our niche. Well, thank you, Juliet. I really appreciate that.
Appreciate that. It's good, yeah.
I don't understand how you don't have millions of subs to educational carnivore way of eating instead of eat meat, fat mantra. It's so much more. Yeah, well, I don't know.
When have we ever said that, DC? When have we ever said, oh, you've got a health problem, question come up, eat meat and fat, you'll be all right? I don't think we've ever said that, ever.
No, not once. I've never said that once, but it's I've always said from the start, like it's more than just about obviously diet is a big thing, it does help, and certainly carnivore diet is the best way to eat. But I've always said that you need other modalities to help you. It's not just about one. You can't just do one. Like if you got a heap of health problems, you can't expect to do change one thing and for everything to fall into line. It's not going to work that way. And certainly, if you want it to happen in any kind of short-term sort of time frame, if you just rely on diet, but of course, I've always said also as well, don't make big sudden changes either. Like doing one step at a time is much easier on your body, and certainly the way it's certainly going to help you succeed. I think easier long term as well, because even if you just do, for example, wean yourself onto the carnivore diet, for example, you just start by increasing your meat intake. That's going to help, right? Because you're going to eat less other food anyway, because you're going to be more satiated, right? So that's one step. And then once you've done that, then you can take something else out, and then take something else, and then take something else, sort of work on that as you go. And it's the same with when I talk about ice bath, cold therapy, anything like that. Start at a mild temperature and sort of work your way down. Same with breath work. Everything that I try to recommend to people, just do it one step at a time, because habits take time to form, whether they're good or bad. They don't happen overnight, right? And if you just make a sudden change, it's too much work for one, to just suddenly go into it the next day, and people will give up. They might do it for a week, they might do it for a month, but after that month, they're going to get bored of it. So I always say, just do one step at a time.
Yeah, when I went to see Joe, I mean, you just reminded me. I need to make a video, and I have something like 55 to 60 different health hacks or interventions that I use in any given week. Any like grounding mat, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Red light
yeah,
therapy, all
right.
sorts of glasses. When I went to visit her, I only used a few of them. And after a few days, I started to like notice my brain was like, hang on a minute, you're not spending all this time like orchestrating this perfect day of like health maculation sort of thing. And by the end of it, I just started to feel a bit like lost because it was such a built-in habit,
Yeah.
I had a day without my phone actually, which was quite nice.
Oh,
Recommended.
that's good. Yeah.
Definitely recommended.
Yeah, I definitely recommend. I've been noticing that too recently. Is the social media addiction? I mean, it's not just that you get that dopamine hit, and you're always looking for the next sort of dopamine hit to like deposit or something to lift you up, sort of thing. But it's like it's literally draining energy from you. Like when you're watching these blue screens all the time, it literally just makes you feel tired because it is draining your energy. It's like a leech, really. It sucks you in, you know. So I think it's
There's a
really good
study
for
I'd like
people to
done.
get off it. Hey?
Yeah, there's a study I'd like done. So, every time we watch, look at blue screens, we deplete the vitamin, the omega-3 content within our eyes, the DHA, to help with the membranes, to help absorb the light, to tell the signal to the brain to do a certain thing in the body.
Yeah.
So we lose that amount, so we have to have more for our diet. I'd like to know, like me like doing this, watching that way, versus me watching that way, for like say a set period of time, what that would mean in result of my diet in order to, what that would mean, meaning how much would I have to increase the omega-3 in my diet in order to get enough to prevent the damage from going like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like how like kind of like how do we measure that? That's what I'd want to know.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. I mean, it'd be very interesting. But I don't think that's something you'd be able to measure though too. I mean, it'd be very nuanced too because it's going to be different. Yeah, I mean, like there's
Yeah,
how long are you watching it for? There's how like what's plus yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff involved in that actually, like what you eat normally as well, and
a lot of
uh,
controls. It probably wouldn't. I mean, I
yeah.
guess we'd have to try and work out if you can get a rat to just stare at a cinema screen for like an hour with and without glasses.
Yeah, like I'm sure there's. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of kids out there would participate in that trial, though. They'd
Yeah,
just love to sit there playing video games all day
God,
and
they're
see.
at it at the schools over here. They've got that all day as a projector, all day,
Oh Jesus, yeah. So there
all
you go. I
day.
mean,
Like,
I'm sure there's plenty of kids that wouldn't mind doing that. Imagine just sitting
yeah,
inside watching that all day. It's drive you nuts. But well, yeah. I suppose we were for a long
jeez.
time.
Yeah, there's a lot
But
of studies I'd like done, but we'll see.
yeah, you can never get them done, though, can you?
No,
But it's an interesting idea, though. I think that'd be pretty cool.
because we all know about like, we're like, oh, don't look at screens too much before bed. But it's like, yeah, but I want to know if I watch like a 20-minute episode of The Simpsons, how much is that going to ruin my life versus, you know, watching all the Harry Potter series back to back all night.
Yeah.
What kind of difference does it make? Like, so they could actually say with a resource or a pamphlet or like a video saying, okay, for every 10 minutes of TV viewing time, that means you have to do this, or it decreases this by this, or whatever.
Yeah.
So because there's obviously not going to be much prerogative from the scientific community to do that, because a lot of them are sponsored, but it'd be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But again, like, this is one of those addictions that people are not they don't really realize is an addiction either. Like, people go to work, they work on the computers, they come home and they'll spend more time on the computers doing emails, catching up on social media and everything else like that. You can't get people's heads out of the damn phones. Like, they can't even walk across the street with their heads buried in the phone,
or in a cinema, or in a restaurant, or in a gym.
or
I went
anywhere
to the
else.
gym in Nottingham where Joe lives, and I just sat there trying to train, and I'd say 15 to 20 people in the gym. I'd say about 14 of them at any given time were on their phone, like looking. But it's not like they're logging the workout or changing a song and just getting on with it. They're just like on Twitter or what you call it, Snapchat, or whatever,
or Instagram or
TikTok.
something like that.
Yeah, it's
TikTok.
oh my god, that irritates me a bit because there's a time and a place.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. There's a time and a place, but the problem is they don't realize that at the moment. They don't realize they're addicted to their damn phones, and it's one of those I mean, for me, especially, like, I grew up when we didn't have like the new thing was like the phones were like in the 90s, right? Like I remember my first one was this little flip phone, and even then, like they didn't have those big screens and so on, and nobody sort of worried about them using them in the gym sort of much. But now it's like you say, they spend so much time, their face buried in the phone, watching TikTok or whatever else, or filming themselves, and it's like, I mean, why do they even bother coming to the gym? It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel drained when I leave the gym sometimes, but that's only if I get a session that's like over an hour. But where I train, because the weather over here is obviously always crap, the lighting is so harsh. So sometimes I'm thinking like, should I put my hood on, sort of thing? Should I wear a cap? Or I can't wear glasses in the gym because they dull down my cortisol response too much, I noticed. So when I'm training, I'm like falling asleep. It's like I can't do that. So the indoor lighting is torturous. I mean, obviously I've got a light on here.
The thing too. I think a lot of gyms do that deliberately too, though. Like the lighting that they use nowadays compared to when, like, 20, 30 years ago, it's completely different. And I think that, and all the walls are usually painted black now these days as well, so they make you feel sleepy, so you don't train as hard. Like it's I don't know. It's just a very different feeling.
I agree. There's, when I go to a gym, the most important thing for me is like the safety of the equipment. Like it's all working, it's all standardized. When you put 5 kilos on, it is 5 kilos. It's not like 4 with a bit broken, stuff like that. The other thing is, the second most important thing for me is the lighting. I like to have in the Nottingham gym, they had a big glass panel where you could just look out. It is like a veranda sort of thing. The gym I train at back in Bournemouth, Christchurch, Bournemouth area here, that's got some lighting, but only in part of the gym. So I try to get over and done with quick. But it's quite a busy gym, which is a bit annoying, but
Yeah, that gets a bit annoying. You have to wait for machineries and equipment and stuff like that. And people are just irritating as well.
It's like you just lifted a weight. You've got 20 kilos on either side. Like, oh, do you mind if I take that? I'm like, yeah, you just watched me lift that weight and use it. I'm not gonna use less weight now. Like,
exactly.
It's a bit mind numbing sometimes, but I'm head off in about 5 minutes, by the way.
Yeah, you're right, mate. No worries. It's been good
to
have you on,
conversation.
Yeah, it's been good.
Useful information.
Sending you love, Lainey. Hope you're feeling better. Yeah, Lainey, I really hope you feel better today.
She had an issue. She mentioned the electrolytes and her cramping in her legs. She said she took some salt. I don't know if would recommend like taurine or something, or fresh air.
I think it's difficult. Like, if you're coming off chemo as well, there's a lot of other reasons why you might get leg cramps and stuff like that as well, because your blood cell production, your circulation is quite low. Blood cell production is low. CO2 levels will be low as well, which is another cause of muscle cramps, because you're not getting the oxygen to the cells. So CO2 levels are too low. So it can be electrolytes, it can be CO2 levels, it can be circulation. Okay, so there's that. So if you're having trouble with cramps, cold water, again, cold showers are great. Breathwork and obviously some circulation will help as well. Because whenever you feel that you get a cramp, the first thing you do is you get up and you move around, right? And the cramp goes away, because you're getting your circulation.
Your brain's telling you to do something. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So there's many other. I mean, it's not always just your electrolytes, it can be as well.
I didn't know that about CO2 though. Honestly, I I didn't realize
Well,
that
it
played
makes sense.
much
I mean,
interaction, but it makes sense.
you can hear the seagulls behind you. That sounds good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I live like a mile from the CDC.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you're not getting oxygen to the cells, then you're going to get muscle cramps, right? So
Yeah.
so you got low CO2 levels. Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Don't know why I never thought of that.
Mm. So, yeah, I mean, I never thought about it really until like this past couple of years. So, yeah, but it's just
Yeah.
one of those. But it's something that helped me a lot actually before I sort of looked into it more. But yeah, when I was like, even when I was stuck, like after the transplant, and I was still stuck in bed for a long time, I would still get muscle cramps a lot because I wasn't moving. You know, I had no circulation. As circulation was one part of it,
Yeah.
but I couldn't breathe properly either. It took me a good year before I could start breathing properly, and because I mean, for the first 6 months, it was just too painful to breathe. Like, it was, I couldn't expand my lungs, or all the muscles of
Yeah.
my bones were all very brittle. So there was that as well. I had very low CO2 levels, very shallow breathing. But once I found out later on, obviously it's just one of those things that I keep on top of. That's why I'd like to do breathwork every single day as well, because I need to make sure that I like to make sure that my CO2 levels are there. I mean, because like your blood oxygen levels will never really fluctuate more than 5%. Really, there's always going to be like 90, 95%. Well, sorry, 95 to 98% for most people. Like extreme athletes who do like high altitude training or can hold their breath for a long time, they might be able to get it down to 90 to 85%. But generally speaking, the only problem when it comes to getting oxygen to these cells is the fact that you overbreathe and your CO2 levels are too low. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that we can fluctuate more. We can control with our breathing, because there's always oxygen in the blood, always.
Yeah. Joe and I both run quite low. I don't think she mind me saying this, but I think she runs at about 88, 90 blood oxygen. I run at about 95, 96.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
she's got health and heart conditions.
She's got, okay, so that's quite low for it's, and I think maybe her weight might be a problem there too. And she said she uses a CPAP. Yeah, like, so her breathing is definitely a problem there. Right. That's why her blood oxygen levels are so low. But again, like increasing, like having like slow controlled breathing is much more effective than like even faster. Even if you're breathing through your nose, any faster sort of, if you're still breathing too often, you're going to have obviously going to have problems like cramps and low CO2. Like, I mean, it's not just that. I mean, because CO2 is also a vasodilator. All right, so that's going to help with blood flow, and obviously that expanding or relaxing the blood vessels is also going to help you get the more blood flow, means that more oxygen will get to the cells as well. Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, nitric oxide plays a big part in that as well. So, and of course, if you're not breathing properly, obviously you're also increasing your reactive oxygen species, because you're not getting that oxygen to the cells, which means that you're getting oxidative stress. So these are,
I've got a theory on that as well.
Yeah.
At night time you produce a large amount of glutathione in response to, like, circadian rhythm, good sleep and stuff like that. What I found was, if I can lower temperature of my room, so I'm less stressed, my breath rate is a bit slower. I sleep better, and that's because the glutathione pathway is more freed up because there's less reactive oxygen species. So what you just said makes, I can link it together. It makes sense.
Yeah. Plus, definitely. I mean, another thing that's going to help you to relax, because you are more relaxed, you are breathing slower. Right? So it means that your CO2 levels are increasing. which also puts you into that relaxation state, because it's the CO2 activation, like the CO2 levels, the higher CO2 levels, that actually put you into that ventral vagal state, so you relax more. Okay. Because you're getting more oxygen, you got again the vasodilation and everything else going on. You got less risk of getting headaches and so on. So if you are in that relaxed state, that and having that higher CO2 levels will also help you improve your sleep. Okay. So
the big one for me, like dehumidifying my room, air conditioning my room, is enormous. Like I've been measuring my the humidity level of my room. If I can get it below about 50%, almost guarantees me about 8 hours sleep that night. But sometimes it runs like 65, and I never sleep as well. Never.
Yeah. No, so, I'm the same. I need a cool room. I like it as cool as possible. Otherwise, I just, I sweat through the night, and it's, you're up every couple of hours, and so it's one. Actually, I've got another thing. Actually, I bought recently.
Yeah.
This actually I think is quite good as well. This is Manta, from Manta Sleep. Right? It's a eye mask to help you sleep. Okay, these are like adjustable. These are adjustable. All right, these are just velcroed on, right? But they block out all light.
All of it, sides and back.
And they're extremely comfortable. Actually, I thought it might be take getting used to to sleep with, but actually it's very, very comfortable, and it blocks out absolutely all light, because the place where I'm at the moment, there's a bit of outdoor light sometimes, and so on. So I got these. They're quite expensive. I mean, for what they are, they're an eye mask, but these were $60. They do have other ones that are quite a fair bit more expensive, but very worth it. I found it gives me a very deep sleep. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Just another one of those things,
I think we've all got to try these sort of things, and ultimately, if it leads to our diet being better, our sleep being better, breathing, exercise performance, and it's probably going to be good for us. Probably.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to disappear now. I'm going to stay in the chat. I'm going to have my breakfast, just because I've got to head out in a couple of hours. But
yeah, no worries, mate. Thanks for joining me, mate. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. Yeah, we had a good chat, and I'm glad to help you celebrate your birthday a little bit. Sorry if it doesn't feel much like your birthday, but with you in spirit, obviously.
It's all right. It's all good. Yeah, it's been great, mate. Take it easy.
It's nice one. Bye.
Jump and hop around. Jump and hop around. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. More breath work and movement for me. Yes, that makes a big difference, Lanny. It really does. Yeah. Hope you're feeling well. Thomas, feeling good. Yeah, that'll do it. Man, your head. The lack of sleep can make you tired. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny that lack of sleep does make you a bit tired, doesn't it? Joe, I've lost 119 pounds, 54 kilos. That's awesome. Yeah. And I'm currently at 232 pounds. Excellent. I'm hoping to lose another 40 pounds in the hope of getting to more optimum breathing and mobility. Yeah. Still have heart damage, but yeah, that's good though. I mean, you're going in the right direction, yeah, and the weight also makes it very difficult to breathe sometimes too, especially while you're sleeping. When you're sleeping on your back and you've got a lot of excess weight, especially on your chest, it's going to make it very difficult for anyone to breathe properly, really. So, but it's something that we all need to keep working on. Making sure, or just be conscious of. It's not that you have to do a lot of work to be like to improve your breathing. It's a matter of recognizing the fact that that's the biggest part, is recognizing the fact that you have a problem with breathing and correcting that. If you are consciously aware of the way you breathe throughout the day, you can train your nervous system to to improve the breathing automatically. Okay, because it should be an automatic response for all of us. It should be, we should be able to just get up and just breathe normally without having to think about it. That's why it's called autonomic nervous system, right? But you can train your nervous system. You can. That's how cold therapy works. Okay, when you get used to a certain temperature, then you lower it, and then you lower it, and then you lower it, and then you just train your nervous system to be adapted to that cold. And that's how it always works. And breathing is the same. Just like taking on any new habit. Okay. So I always recommend, like, if you do 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at lunch, and 5 minutes at night, of just 5 seconds in through the nose, 5 seconds out through the nose, where you're just very relaxed and only think about the breathing. So counting 5 seconds in, counting 5 seconds out. If you do that, say 3 times a day for, a few weeks, even though like 30 days, right? It's not very much, 30 days. You're going to find that you are training your nervous system to breathe like that normally, okay, automatically. And then you can do, other breathing techniques on top of that is good as well. Like, say 15-20 minutes of breathing is a good way to either meditate or even just focus on the breathing itself, and that will help with all the other processes in your body. Okay. I mean, I've spoken about all the different benefits of breathwork before, but it really is one of the strongest sort of stimulants that you can give your body for all your metabolic processes. For hormone production, digestion, nutrient absorption through your. I mean, if you're in that ventral vagal state before you eat, you're going to absorb a lot more nutrients. And the studies that there are many studies on this. Some of them, I mean, you can't say that they're all completely accurate, of course, because there's this area of health and so on. But I mean, most of them say the range is between 30 and 50%. So like up to 50% of your nutrients are lost from your diet if you are not breathing properly beforehand, if you are in that sympathetic nervous state all the time. Because when you're in that sympathetic nervous state, you're in that fight or flight. Your body is in that reactive state where it is ready to run, sort of thing, right? Like if we were running from a predator or we were running after food, sort of thing. So it's not expecting to eat. So you get gut paralysis and digestive paralysis where your food just passes through. Okay. So it's quite easy. Like you could lose up to 50% of your nutrients. Some studies have said 70%. Okay. But I'll just err on the side of, I'll just sit in the middle and say 50%. But that all has a knock-on effect as well to your hormone production. Okay, so even it's kind of like timing, getting your circadian body or circadian rhythm in line with the sun, right? You get up first thing in the morning, you go outside and set your body clock to help your hormone production. What you eat throughout the day and when you take medications and whatever else, that also affects the timing of your hormone production. Okay. So if you are in, say, a parasympathetic or a sympathetic nervous state, for example, and you're eating, not only are you losing most of or half of your nutrients from your food, okay, so it's just going to pass straight through you, but that will have a knock-on effect for your hormones as well, because it's not when you are in that sympathetic state, for example, you are producing more cortisol for one, okay, which is not a bad thing. Cortisol is not like the big demon that everyone keeps saying. Like, I mean, without cortisol, you would be dead. Okay, it is a vital hormone. It is, but it's a reactive. It's a reactive hormone. It's not a stress hormone. It's a reactive hormone. All right, so it reacts to your nervous system. It reacts to how you manage your autonomic nervous system. That's all. Okay. But if you are in that sympathetic nervous state all day long, for example, okay, so one, you're not getting many nutrients from your food. You're going to have chronic elevation of cortisol, so you're going to produce more cortisol throughout the day. Plus, you're also not going to be able to sleep properly, okay? Which means that you're not producing melatonin later in the day. But that all has an effect on the other hormones that you produce throughout the day too, like testosterone, EPO. It's going to have the reason why it lowers your immune system, for example, because you won't have those vital hormones like EPO to produce to stimulate your bone marrow to produce to release more blood cells and so on, like including white cells, and you also suppress D, and while you get, there's all sorts of knock-on effects that happen with that. So this is why breathing is so important. The breath work is so important to train your nervous system, but to stimulate all these other processes. You also have the benefits of, for example, the nitric oxide. For another one is nitric oxide is a vasodilator for one. It's an antioxidant too, but it's also used for many other processes throughout the body, right throughout the body. It's so, like, nitric oxide is so vital for the whole body. There are 4 ways you can stimulate nitric oxide production. Okay. Now, I say breath work because there are glands in our nasal passages that are where we produce and secrete nitric oxide. Now, you can stimulate this. You can actually, this has been measured at certain breathwork techniques, such as Brahmari breathwork is what they call, or bee breath, because you use humming, like a humming sound, through the nasal passages, because it vibrates those nasal passages. And that has increased the nitric oxide production by up to 15 times. But you also get it from eating meat, right? Because of certain amino acids will help us to produce nitric oxide. We also get it from sunlight. So UVA, I think it is. Yeah, UVA, I think it is. Even in low light, like when it's a cloudy day, and you think, well, we're not going to get much D3 because it's cloudy. Well, you're still going to get nitric oxide. So it's really important. So, that will be produced from sunlight from our skin, okay, as well. The other one was there was something else, I forget. Actually, I don't know off the top of my head, but nitric oxide also is also is vital for sex hormones. Okay, I'm not talking just about testosterone either, because it's because it's a vasodilator, which also helps with getting those hormones through to sex hormones and things like that. But I actually wrote quite a detailed Substack article about nitric oxide and CO2 and how they help with our sex organs as well. So if you check out the Substack, they are vital for all of the processes in our body. CO2 and nitric oxide are 2 of the most important gases that we can produce. Okay. So it's very important, breath work. Oh, thank you very much for the memberships, everyone. Oh, Jonathan, good man. Thank you, my man. Really appreciate that. Yeah. So there are so many reasons that breathing is so important for. Obviously, you can go a couple of weeks without food and water, okay, but you can't go more than a few minutes without breathing. Okay, that's the number one thing, isn't it? But it also helps us. I know everyone, you talk about breathing, and well, I've been doing it all my life. I know how to breathe, sort of thing. But 99% of people don't. They don't know how to breathe properly, and it is the fastest, most direct way to affect our nervous system and control our emotions and so on. I mean, when you get upset, for example, the first thing you do is like just slowly deep breathe, right? And then you calm down. And you get angry, and you take a deep breath, relax, you calm down. That's a perfect example. You kick your toe, and it hurts, and you start deep breathing. It helps with pain management because you activate your vagus nerve. Right. So this is a really good way for you for many different processes throughout the body. Anyway, organ health, because your vagus nerve is actually connected to all of your major organs, including your skin, your endocrine organs like muscle, your skeletal muscle, your heart, your liver, your kidneys, everything. All right, absolutely everything. So if you can manage your nervous system and control the vagus nerve, right, you can control most of what happens in your body. So it's very important that you get your breathing properly. You get your breathing sorted out. It really doesn't take much effort, honestly. Like I said, you just train your nervous system to do this for like 5 minutes, 3 times a day, sort of thing. Yeah, cheers. Thanks, Jonathan. I really appreciate it, man. Yeah, really do. It's a great chat, actually. Great. Always good to have Jonathan on. He's always, like I said, he's one of the best nutritionists in any space, right, in the world. Very knowledgeable, and he's does a lot more about it than what I do. So I think he's quite one of those brilliant guys out there. Anyway, guys, we are a bit over 2 hours. If you don't have any questions, I think I'll leave it there tonight, and I will scoot off. Okay. But it's been great. Actually, it's been really good. Thank you, everyone, for joining me on my birthday. 53 today. I can't believe it. But, 14 years since they told me I had a couple of weeks to live. So doing pretty well. Yeah. But, I really appreciate you all joining me tonight. It's been really good. It's been a great chat, and good to hear and see you all. And a great conversation with Jonathan. So, yeah, very happy with that. So thanks, everyone. Take care. Have a great day.